You died at your desk. The review said you exceeded expectations. Your heart disagreed. Meets expectations. Consistently, every year, you met expectations until you couldn't meet your own eyes in the mirror. The review was positive. The human was negative. Both metrics were green. It started with the quarterly review system, the one HR called transparent performance tracking, the one that turned humans into data points with pulses. You learned the formula fast. Hit your KPIs, document your wins, quantify your impact, turn your existence into a spreadsheet they could grade. The first year, you got meets expectations. It felt like failure. Everyone else was exceeding, crushing, dominating. You were just meeting, so you worked harder. You started tracking everything, every email answered, every task completed, every minute accounted for. The performance review wasn't quarterly anymore. It was constant. You reviewed yourself every hour. Your manager loved it, called you self-motivated. You'd stopped being motivated by anything except the fear of being needs improvement. Year 2. You exceeded expectations. Finally, the review took 15 minutes. Your manager smiled. Used words like great work and keep it up. You'd worked 70-hour weeks for 9 months for 15 minutes of validation. It should have felt good. It felt empty. But empty was better than failure, so you kept going. Year 3. You exceeded expectations again. This time it took 12 minutes. Your manager seemed distracted. The words were the same. The weight was less. You'd given more. It mattered less. You started to notice the pattern. The more you gave, the less it registered. Excellence wasn't special anymore. It was baseline. The expectations had moved. You were meeting them by exceeding yourself. Year 4. You couldn't remember what you did that year, just that the review said meets expectations again. You'd worked the same hours, delivered the same results. Somehow you'd slipped back to average. Your manager suggested areas for growth. You wrote them down. You always wrote them down. The list never got shorter. For every area you grew, 2 more appeared. The goalpost wasn't moving. It was multiplying. Year 5. You stopped sleeping normally. Your body had adopted a new schedule. Work until collapse. Wake in panic. Check email. The review said you were meeting expectations with room for improvement. You'd forgotten what improvement felt like when your baseline was exhaustion. The review system added a new metric, cultural fit. You scored yellow, not green, not red. Yellow meant, watch this one. You didn't know what you'd done wrong. No one could tell you. You just needed to be more aligned. You started mirroring the language in company emails, adopting the phrases managers used. You stopped sounding like yourself. You started sounding like the review rubric. Year 6. The review was automated. A dashboard now. Real-time performance tracking. You could watch your scores update live. Green, yellow, green, red. Back to yellow. The numbers moved faster than you could fix them. Your manager said the system was empowering. It gave you ownership of your growth. What it actually gave you was a panic disorder. You checked the dashboard 47 times a day. Your therapist called it obsessive. Your manager called it engaged. Year 7. You hit every metric, every single one, all green. The review still said, meets expectations, because everyone else hit them too. The curve had shifted. Excellence was mandatory now. Expected. You were all meeting expectations by destroying yourselves in identical ways. Your hands started shaking during review prep, the doc where you listed your accomplishments, quantified your impact, justified your existence. You'd written the same document 7 times. The words had stopped meaning anything. Year 8. You couldn't remember submitting your self-review, but it was there, submitted on time. You must have written it. The sentences sounded like you. The achievements were yours. You just couldn't remember typing them. Your manager's review called you consistently solid. Solid, like a material, not a person. You'd become structural, load-bearing, dependable, inanimate. The review asked you to set goals for next year. You stared at the empty text box for 40 minutes. You had no goals. You'd achieved them all. You'd exceeded them all. You'd met every expectation until you'd forgotten what you expected from yourself. You typed, "Continue meeting expectations." It felt like writing your own eulogy. Year 9. The review was positive. Your body was shutting down. You'd started having small errors, missing words in emails, forgetting meetings, submitting reports twice, deleting files you needed. HR flagged it as performance inconsistency, suggested a performance improvement plan. The plan was more reviews, weekly now, to track your improvement, to ensure you were meeting the expectations you'd exceeded for 8 years before your nervous system started filing error reports. You signed the plan. What else could you do? Year 10. They found you at your desk. The final review was open on your screen. You'd rated yourself meets expectations in every category. Your manager would have agreed. The coroner's report said cardiac arrest. The dashboard said your metrics were green. Both were accurate. Both missed the point. They hired your replacement within a week, sent them your performance reviews as reference, showed them what meeting expectations looked like. The new hire read them carefully, set their goals accordingly, started tracking their hours. The system worked exactly as designed. They called it the terminal review, not because it was final, because it never ends. The next body is already in your chair. The dashboard is already green. Their review is in 6 months. They'll meet expectations. They always do, until they can't meet their own eyes, until they can't meet anything anymore. The reviews are still being written. The expectations are still being met. The humans are still being measured. Your score is still in the system. Consistently solid, meets expectations, exceeded targets, marked as eligible for rehire should you ever return.